Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am certified professional pet groomer Amy Lee, and it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. We get together here at 5:30 every Monday Eastern Standard Time live from the grooming table, and I want to thank you for joining me tonight. We have a great topic, and I can't wait till we get going with this. I have a couple demos, a couple things to show you guys. Hopefully the sound's good. I got a new mic. It's a wireless mic, so I can run around and dance around, and you should still be able to hear me. Anyway, it's going to help out great for our demos and stuff like that, guys, when I'm filming. So give me a thumbs up if the mic sounds good. Hoping everything's good with that. It should definitely help our live streams and our demos. So, guys, great topic tonight. Let me just pull my notes up here. Things got a little messed up with my live stream out of the gate, but that's okay. We're back. We're going. We're live. Our topic is how I groom handicapped client dogs. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I put together some good footage of me working with a paralyzed Cavajan, as well as bringing her owner in with us to assist. I think that's very important. I'm going to show you a couple things tonight. We're going to talk about some items that are going to be helpful for grooming handicapped or disabled dogs. This is one thing that we're going to be looking into tonight. This is my grooming table, but I'm going to show you how I assist old dogs that can't stand, or maybe even just disabled dogs. So I'm going to share my secrets and tips with you to help ensure safety and a successful grooming session for your pet or your pet clients. And there are several helpful items that you should know about, and I'm going to share them with you right here tonight, guys. Disabled dog grooming safety is your first priority, and applying the trim that best suits the pet's lifestyle is imperative. Each handicapped pet that you work with will come with their own set of specific grooming needs. Be sure to include the owner and work as a team for the disabled pets you groom. That's very important, guys. I can't stress that enough. I have a few items that I want to share with you after we watch a short demo that I use to aid in grooming disabled dogs, including dogs with severe arthritis. So we're getting ready to fire up that demo in a second, but this is my Viper electric table. This is how I help dogs stand that can't stand. This particular girl, this is Betsy. She's a Lhasa Apso. She has a very severe arthritis, and she's 15 years old. So grooming is very taxing on her, and there are ways where we can help these pets to get through the grooming session comfortably and safely. That's very important, safely. So looks like we got thumbs up, sounds great, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Awesome. I was so excited. I didn't get to play around with this mic much before I used it. I had to watch a few videos and find out how to get the best out of it, but it's super cool. I love it. It's a Rode Wireless Go mic is what it is, if anybody's looking for a mic out there. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and put our first demo up. I'm going to show you me working with the pet owner and on our Cavajan Ginger. Ginger wasn't born paralyzed. This happened to Ginger about 1.5 years ago. So I used to work with Ginger when she was not paralyzed or disabled, and now she is. So what happened was she fell off the bed one night when they were sleeping, and that is so sad. And you can imagine the owners are just tore up about it. They did have surgery. They went right to emergency care. They paid, I think it's like $10,000 for surgery for Ginger. They were very hopeful that they were going to be able to help her, as well as the team of experts that were working on Ginger. But guess what? It didn't come back. She can't walk her back legs. So you're going to see that. You're going to see Ginger in the demo. I do need her mom to work with me, because I need her mom to know that I'm trying to provide the safest setup for Ginger. I also need that extra set of hands, because Ginger can be unpredictable. When she moves her weight, she slides around, and I also need the owner to understand that I'm doing the best I can for Ginger, and I may not be able to give her the trim I used to, because it was easier to work with her when she could work with me. Now it's all holding her up, you know, and trying to get the job done. And aside from that, Ginger has an issue now with, you know, going to the bathroom. Her mom often has to express her bladder for her. And Ginger needs to be kept real short and clean back there around her privates and where she goes to the bathroom, because then it just gets irritated. So she has her own set of special needs, just like, you know, I want to bring that up again, guys, that each disabled dog has their own special set of needs, that you need to talk closely with the owners and know exactly what it is that the dog, you know, suffers from, what the problems are, what they are and what they aren't able to do on their own. So you can already start preparing your mind how to compensate for them during the grooming session, and also planning with the owner. Teamwork, it's teamwork. Okay, I'm going to be doing this and I want you to do this for Ginger while I'm doing this. You know, and we really have to be in communication, and we really have to work together to get it done right. And Ginger, she comes in every 8 weeks, and it's going well. I've probably groomed her as a paralyzed dog about 6 times already, I'd say, maybe a little more. So, you know, but like I said, we worked together for years before she was paralyzed, and she is only 7 or 8 years old. She's not an old dog. She's still got a lot of spunk in her. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Ginger. Let me just walk you through this little demo, and we'll talk about it when we get back here. Okay, guys? Thank you for joining me. Here it is. Here's Ginger. Guys, this is Ginger, and she is handicapped. She has a spinal injury, and she has a lot of different ways of getting around, but sometimes we do have to work with handicapped dogs. And I always have the owners present and help me when I'm working with a handicapped dog or disabled dog, because I need their support. I need them to see that I'm doing everything that I can to safely groom their dog, and there may be some things that I'm unable to do because the dog is handicapped, and I'd like the owner to be able to see that I can't always have success with every aspect of a groom when it comes to working with a handicapped dog. So in this case with Ginger, she has a lot of urine staining around her hiney because she doesn't have control over that. Often her mom has to express her bladder for Ginger. She is paralyzed. She has no control over her back legs. You know, cleaning the urine area is very important, obviously, because that can burn her skin. So we worked really hard with that, with the Davis degrease in the tub. But as you can see, I have the owner with me, and she helps me. She helps me hold Ginger up. Ginger's very sensitive with grooming these days. She's a little feisty about it, and I don't know if because she's paralyzed that some of her other senses have become strong now, and she's very sensitive and touchy. But even just you know, trying to scissor Ginger here a little bit, she's feisty about it. It acts like it hurts her, but it doesn't. Nope. I really do want to stress that I feel like it's important that the owners are with us, guys, when we're going to groom a handicapped dog. We need the owner's support. We need the owner to know that we are doing the best we can with the dog. And one of the most important things to remember about grooming a handicapped dog is that you are trying to accomplish a groom that best suits this particular dog's needs. In Ginger's case, she often will drag her backside around, getting it dirty or irritated and sensitive. So you know, you may need to go with a shorter trim in certain areas and say this is what's going to keep her the cleanest and the most comfortable. There are a lot of variables that are involved with grooming a disabled dog, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, my friends. How to get this done safely and applying a trim that is best for this particular dog. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea what it's like to work with a handicapped dog. Ginger's a great dog, as you can see, and she's definitely more sensitive to grooming than she was prior to this accident. You know, possibly she has nerve pain. You know, we just don't know. She doesn't seem to be in pain, but, you know, we don't know. They can't tell us. But you can see, with assessing Ginger, when she first comes in, my first concern right away is that I noticed that she definitely, urinates on herself a lot when she goes to the bathroom. So I realized right away, one thing we need to do is to clean that area very well prior to shaving it. So before we shave it, we want to clean it really well because it's probably a little irritated from the urine. Now, her mom does have to clean her up constantly in between. So, I mean, Ginger's a lot of work at home, but she's worth it. And they decided that they were going to do this for Ginger. They were going to do everything they could for her. She has a little cart that they hook her to, that, one of those mobility carts, so she can get around. She doesn't prefer to use that when she goes to the bathroom. It bothers her, but when she's running around playing and having fun, she likes to use the cart. So they have done everything they can to help Ginger, and Ginger's still very happy. And she lives with 2 other dogs, and she's the queen. She's the boss. So that didn't change for her. But so we have to assess, like I said, guys, we have to say, what are the needs of this dog? Well, I could clearly see that she goes to the bathroom on herself. So a good bath, degreasing, cleaning all that up real good for her before we clip it is ideal. And then I like to take it short. I like to take it short back there all around her private so it stays as nice and clean and the hygiene issue is corrected, for as long as possible. And her mom does do stuff in between. Also with Ginger, she doesn't like to be brushed. And you could see, just me scissoring, she's like, she don't like it. Well, you can imagine when you're brushing her. And I do brush her when she comes in, but she doesn't care for it. So I realize her mom's going to have the same struggles too at home. So we tend to give Ginger a short haircut with a number 7. That's what we do because it keeps her cleaner, it keeps her low maintenance, and it's just easier for her lifestyle, which is, like I said, sometimes she's wearing her cart. Sometimes she's, they live out here in the country, so if she's outside, she can get quite dirty, and sometimes she gets away from them when they go to bring her out, and before they can, put her in her harness and stuff like that where they help her walk, and she just starts zipping around the yard and dragging herself, but she's happy. She's a crazy girl. So that's just Ginger. That's the way it is. So that's why it's important to assess their needs before you get started and come up with a plan with the pet owner together and say, this is how we're going to handle grooming Ginger, and this is what you can do, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how we'll get it done together. So just teamwork is the most important thing there, guys, with working with disabled dogs, paralyzed dogs, dogs that have severe arthritis. That's a disability too for a dog because it can't stand. And that's where you saw me demo with Betsy, who is an old Lhasa. I use this for her. And this I bought extra when I bought my electric Viper grooming table, which is very nice. And this was made by Viper. You can see there. It's made by Viper. I'll get it closer for you guys. Viper grooming table. Now, since I've had trouble finding this online because I've had people ask about these. This is just like a sheepskin seatbelt cover is basically what it is. And it folds around, and it has Velcro around your grooming loop. This is just a grooming loop. This comes off, and it is this. So what I have found is that you can buy these as seatbelt covers at Walmart or Target or wherever your favorite big box store is. They sell these usually for around anywhere between $10 to $15, and you can Velcro it around a large grooming loop to give you a second assisting grooming harness for a dog that has trouble standing, or maybe a dog that just doesn't want to stand for you. Maybe there's no disability involved. It's just a I'm not going to do it for you thing, So this could help you with grooming those types of pets, to have this as your second harness. As you could see, I'm going to throw this on here again with Betsy here. We have her on a regular grooming loop, and you can see she lays down. She wants to lay down. It feels best to her. So we hook this underneath her, We just put it gently under her abdomen. You don't want to have it cutting off any blood supply. You're just taking this stress off of her legs so she doesn't have to stand there. So as I'm adjusting it, now my grooming arm is electric, but you would adjust a manual grooming arm the same way. You adjust it to the point where she is comfortably standing and it takes that pressure off of her. And then obviously it's very easy to you know, let a little slack out if you need to, if you want to let her sit, because maybe you're going to trim her head now and she doesn't have to stand. So, you know, it's easy to let the slack out and allow her to sit or whatever. But it's just nice. These are just nice to use to help the dog stand, or if your dog, like I said, if they're just being ornery and they don't want to do it, you know, then this will help keep them in a standing position and you'll have much better luck with them while you're grooming. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you guys, and they are available. I have had trouble finding the Viper grooming table, the one I'm showing you right now. I had trouble finding that online. I don't know why. But like I said, you can make your own by buying a seat belt cover to go around the grooming loop and use a second grooming loop to assist you in grooming. Now, another thing that I think is very important when you're grooming a handicapped dog, actually I think it's very important when you're grooming any dog. This is the tub leash that I made. I have a video on my channel showing you how to make this yourself because they do not exist. They're not on the market. It's made with 1/4 inch bungee paracord. It's soft, it's mold resistant, it's mildew resistant, so obviously it holds up wonderfully in the tub. And the reason I like it is because the dogs are more on a harness system when I put this around them. It's not around their neck like a typical bathing loop. Obviously, if you've got a paralyzed dog, or even if you're working with cats, I like to have them in a harness, not around the neck. Cats have very fragile bones in here, and so do small dogs, and obviously handicapped dogs. They can be a little unpredictable with their movement, so you would want something very safe to secure them in the tub. And you do want to have them secured in the tub, every dog. But this is another thing that I have come to not want to live without. This is very helpful with all dogs, but especially our handicapped dogs or disabled dogs. So that's another thing I wanted to show you guys. I do get a lot of questions about that tub leash. So I think that demo is pretty self-explanatory. The one is called Safe Tub Leash for Your Dog, something like that. You guys can go watch it, and it just shows you how to make the leash and how I use it. That's all it is. I should probably do an updated video because there is a lot of interest in that, so with more questions. So I need to answer those questions in another video. Speaking of questions, don't forget to put a line in front of your question so I can see you have a question. And I'm going to address your questions here as soon as I finish up talking, and you know how I am. There's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys that helps to groom your dog that may have trouble standing, arthritis, any type of disability, is these simple little rubber bath mats that are made for us that you would put, you know, they suction cup down to the base of your grooming or your bathtub so you don't slip. But you can also put this on your grooming table, and it gives them extra footing so they will not slip. If you have a big dog, then maybe you would get 2 of them and put them sideways and make one bigger mat. But they do help. I can honestly tell you guys that dogs definitely don't feel secure if they feel like they're slipping around, you know, like their footing is not quite as secure as they need it to be. Then they'll get a little antsy about that. And also then obviously it makes it a little hard to work with them. So I find that any type of rubber mat, anything like that, helps tremendously. And that's for all dogs, but especially a dog that's older or has arthritis or can't stand or is disabled. it definitely helps to make them feel secure on the grooming table, and it helps the whole grooming process itself. So those were the things that came to my mind offhand. And the last thing that's important, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, is that you have the owners assisting you with handicapped or disabled dogs. I feel that's very important because it's a special situation and it is a special needs situation. And they are caring for this dog 24/7. They know the dog inside and out. You know, they know exactly what the dog can and can't do. And they also realize that it's a struggle for a groomer to groom a handicapped dog. So we need their help because they, like I said, they know the dog, they know the situation. You have to be on a team together. So I'm going to turn this mic down a little. It looks like it keeps going in the red. Hopefully it doesn't sound terrible to you guys. Now I'm going to pop over here and take a look at some questions. Because I know a lot of you have handicapped dogs and are dealing with this, or maybe you have ideas that work wonderful for you too that you can share here with all of us, including myself, because we're better together. The more we share, the more we accomplish, and we accomplish a lot together, guys. I'm so proud of us. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through here looking for a line. That tells me I have a question. All right, hold on here. Here's one. Okay, Raquel did remind everybody. Thank you, Raquel, to put the line in front of it. And let's see here. I saw some. There's one. Kim says, since I can't really lift the hind legs to shave under the belly, how can I use my wall KM10 in this area? So you can't lift the dog or the hind legs. Okay, well, one thing you could do, I have to do this a lot with older dogs because just lifting one leg, it makes them want to fall because they don't have a lot of strength on that opposite leg anymore. So I often, when I do need to lift the leg, I will put my arm under the dog to assist in holding him up while I lift the leg. And then I can get in there because I'm actually holding the dog up with my arm. That's what I do often. Another thing you can do is definitely to use, you know, these soft second assisting grooming loops. And you can actually put this under the dog's 2 armpits and raise the bar up a little, and it will make the dog stand on its hind legs, or somewhat, a little bit, that you can get under there. That's another thing that I do a lot, is put this under their arms so it's hoisting them, if that makes sense. And that helps. Obviously picking them up like this and working from this angle straight on is another thing, as long as they can stand that way. Some dogs can't. So I'd say, Kim, those are my suggestions for that. Let's see here. And Lori says, first time I'm able to attend live. I usually cannot come at this time. Well, we're so glad to have you, Lori. We're so glad to have everybody here. She says, I don't know if I will get your answer. I can't stay on long. Just want to know if I can email you as a member. Oh, absolutely. Anybody can email me. My email is listed in the description of every video. So feel free. I try to respond as much as possible. I do see that I have a lot to respond to right now, and when I'm done live streaming tonight and after I have dinner with my hubby go groomer, and my daughter's here tonight, we're going to have dinner together, that I'm going to be answering comments and emails probably the rest of the night. So I like to try to get caught up because I don't like to leave you guys hanging, and I don't want you to feel you're not important. So I try to get back to everybody. Be specific with your questions, guys. If you need me to email, please don't hit me with 14 questions, because it really is time consuming for me. Sometimes I have to go pull links to answer your questions, and it's just, it takes away from me being able to create content, for me to be able to edit videos. I feel like I've been doing a lot of responding and not as much content creating lately. And then I did just release a video today, the Westie trim. A lot of you haven't seen it because I only released it to my members right now. So you have to go to the community page if you're a member, the community page on my YouTube channel, and there is a link that is linking to the Westy video. In 2 days, though, for the rest of you, I'm releasing it to everybody. I just want to do something a little special with no commercials for the first 2 days for my members. Just to, you know, because they are supporting the channel. You all do. I appreciate everything you all do. So don't worry, everybody. That Westy video is going to be live for you too this Wednesday. It'll be released, okay? So that's coming. But feel free to email me, guys, especially if you're really hung up on something and you really need help. I would like to help you. I really don't want you guys to stress, as I know it's stressful. So anybody else have any questions here? I thought I saw something. Hey, Jamers is here. Hi, Jamers. That's my little camping buddy. Okay, here we go, Kathleen. Kathleen says she has a 4-month-old Shih Tzu. Will not sit still for a minute. How can I train her for a groomer after the pandemic? 4-month-old. Okay. Well, the best training is up on the grooming table. Now, if you're a home groomer, you probably don't have a grooming table. But not to worry. There are some other things you can do to practice. You want to start handling the dog up on a grooming table or something like a grooming table. So the dog knows when it's up there and it's on a grooming lead, it's supposed to work for you. And yeah, it's a puppy. So short little grooming sessions for a puppy. If you want to brush him out for 5 minutes, get him up on a card table, you can make something that resembles a grooming arm, or you can buy portable grooming arms for about $20. They'll hook on any table or an island in your kitchen or a counter. Just make sure your dog is safe and can't fall off and you're always with them. But getting them up on a grooming table and having short, quick training sessions with a puppy especially, maybe just a little brushing, maybe just handling the feet, maybe just picking away at you know, looking, cleaning in the ears. Getting them used to being handled is very important. And no playtime when you're handling your dog on the grooming table. It's all serious business. You can talk to them, that's okay. Sometimes they like that. They like the distraction of you talking to them, and you know, they listen to you and stop misbehaving. Like they're more focused on what you're saying. It distracts them. So some dogs, that really works well for them, that you talk through the whole thing. You don't have to baby talk them, but just nice and easy and gentle and quiet. Don't get upset. Don't get loud. Just talking. I mean, I talk to the dogs when I groom them all the time. Just talking, you know, and they listen. They listen to me. They're looking at me. It's distracting them. That's all. So definitely some short little sessions on a grooming table, just whether it's just a little bit of brushing, combing, cleaning ears, messing with the feet a little bit. Have them stand. Don't let them hunker all up and protect themselves. You want them to stand and be confident on the grooming table. Okay? All right. Oh my goodness, Nora is from Egypt. I think you emailed me, or I remember answering a comment. Ordered stuff from Amazon and the table and the dryer from another app called Desert Cart. You were having trouble finding a lot of things in Egypt, Nora, if I'm correct. I'm so glad that you had success. So I didn't know what to tell you because I don't know what your options are there. I really don't. So wow, that sounds great. It sounds like you did get the things you needed. I'm so happy because a lot of things aren't available in other countries sometimes, guys. And some things that are available in Egypt are not available to us in the States either, you know, so it's kind of hard. Mindy says, nail trim, wait a minute, St. Bernard, any tips? All right, I see another question here. Jacqueline says, I'll get to you, Mindy, just a second. Jacqueline says, nail trim on a St. Bernard, any tips, please? Love your channel. Definitely. Well, I have about 3 really good videos on my channel specifically about nail trimming. So you need to watch those videos. You search on my YouTube channel, how to trim your dog's nails, you should get at least 3 different videos, kind of showcasing different things. So I suggest that's what you do because I really break it down in all those videos. you have to have confidence too. I can honestly tell you that. So you got to have the confidence to trim those nails. And Mindy says, I like the face short for my Shih Tzu, but it's winter here. As leave body longer, it makes her look like she has a tiny face and a massive head, massive body. Okay, you like the face short. All right, you're trimming the face short because you don't like all that hair and wetness when they eat. But you also have some length of coat on her because it's cold. How do you tie that together? Well, what I typically do, and you can go short. Like, I don't know how short you're going. Are you doing like a 7 blade on the muzzle? Some people do a 10 blade on a Shih Tzu because they do not want that hair on the face. It also keeps all the tearing and stuff cleaner, and that's fine. What you can do to blend it down a little is use other snap-on combs. If you have this set of walls, say you're using a 0 comb on the body, then use two sizes smaller to blend down the neck in here, to blend down, to do the legs. You could do the legs with a smaller snap-on comb size because you want those legs to stay clean and tidy and not get a bunch of snowballs and stuff in it if you have a lot of length. Basically just want most of that length to be on your dog's body to keep their organs and their core body warm. That's all you really need. So I would use the same blade or the same snap-on comb length that you're using on the body and come straight up the head to do the top skull. So that length is the same. Then you're definitely going to have to do some scissoring. That's the only way to make a groom look good when you're leaving length. You can't simply just use the guard combs or a blade. You have to tie it together with some scissor work or it just looks off, you know. So Mindy, I hope that helped you. If not, you can always email me and I can try to get into a little more detail for you. I think I saw some more questions here. St. Bernard, nail trimming tips, please. Okay, yes, Scotland. Jacqueline, I got you, honey. So you gotta go watch those videos, Jacqueline, my nail trimming videos. Okay, Karen says, I have an old dog, 13 years old. Arthritis, absolutely. Difficult standing, holding back legs up with arm underneath. Also, is it wrong to hold the tail up and clip the back legs and the butt? You mean hold them up by their tail? Their tail is strong, I can tell you that. I prefer not to do that if I don't have to. You can always put something underneath them. Like, here, this is what I do a lot. I will get like a gallon of shampoo and I'll put a towel on it, a grooming towel on top of it, fold it up so it's soft. And I'll put that under the dog's abdomen. So when they go to sit, it's reminding them to stand. They go to sit, it reminds them to stand. That's an easy trick. A gallon of shampoo, or I mean, if you don't have shampoo, say, you know, you're not a groomer. Well, how about like an empty gallon of milk and fill it with water just to give it some weight and put it there so that when they go to sit, it reminds them to stand back up. That's helpful. And I do that here in the shop at times too. So that maybe that helps a little bit. Got some more questions here. James T has a question. Let me just scroll here so I can see it better. I have an adjustable blade clipper. Okay, that's like a 5-in-1 or like my Kenchi Flash. Should it matter what length setting I set if I want to use a specific size attachment comb? If the blade is long, the comb is 1/4 inch equals a 1/4 inch cut, and so on. Yeah, 1/4 inch equals approximately a 1/4 inch cut. So you can use on your 5-in-1 clipper, and you're going to use the attachment blades, it's best to use the 10 or 15 just because the attachment comb will seat on there a lot more securely, if that makes sense, versus if you have a smaller, you have it set to a 30 or 40, you're kind of shortening your blade, so it's less for the snap-on comb to hang on to. So I like to say to use your 5-in-1 with your snap-on combs, set it to a 10 or a 15. I think that's your best bet, honestly. Okay, and Carrie says, when you're de-shedding a dog in the tub, are you using a rake during the conditioning process or after they are completely washed? Thank you. You're welcome, Carrie. Okay, now it depends on the breed. Let's say I was working with a Labrador or even a Beagle. I often do this with Beagles. I'll use a rake after I've washed them, and I'll slicker brush some of the loose hair out during the shampooing, and then I'll rinse it. And then I'll add conditioner, like preferably that Nature's Specialty Sun Guard that I like. It's great for de-shedding dogs. It really does a wonderful job. So I'll put my diluted conditioner on, and then I'll gently use a rake in a brush-like fashion, not in long strokes, in a brush-like fashion. Okay, that's how I'll use the rake. For labs, anything like that, Beagle, even Pug, and that really de-sheds nicely. But you still can't you can't do that instead of brushing. Then after they get out of the tub, they're dry, toweled off, not dry, they're toweled off, rinsed and toweled. Then you go back through them with a brush again. And then when the coat is still damp, go for your de-shedding rake again. Gently, only removing what willingly wants to come out, but you should get a lot. You should get a lot. And if we're talking about a long-haired coat like a Sheltie, a Collie, or a Bernese Mountain Dog, I don't really like to use the rakes on them. I feel it pulls a lot of coat. I prefer to de-shed with a comb and a brush on a double-coated breed like that, you know, that has that long top coat. Plus, I don't want to damage that long top coat, and I feel that sometimes rakes can just be a little too aggressive. So I hope that helps, Carrie. That was a good question, and I'm sure other people are glad you asked it. I see that Sherry says, can you recommend a small straight scissor to trim ears? You mean to trim the length of the ears? I'm trying to think. To trim the ears, a small straight scissors. I prefer like an 8-inch when I'm trimming the length of the ears, because otherwise you have to take so many snips and you're likely to make it uneven. You know, if you only have to snip twice because your shear is an 8-inch shear, you have more accuracy with how straight your ears are. I don't know what you mean. You definitely never use scissors anywhere near the inside of their ears. I don't think that's what you meant, Sherry. So a small straight. It's a preference for you guys. I don't prefer to use the small shears on any part. Maybe around the face, trimming eyes. That would be the only time that I would use a smaller shear. But it's my preference. So, and it's your preference what size shear you use too, what you're comfortable with. So I can't tell you that that's right or wrong, because I always use my 8-inch shears almost for everything, but sometimes I'm only using the tip of the shear. You guys seen that a lot in my demos. Nor says, forgot the line, what is the best clipper? What is the best clipper, and that I can also attach any blade? Okay, so that would be a detachable blade clipper. The 5-in-1 clippers, they are not detachable blades. They are only 5 blade lengths, and that's that. You can attach snap-on combs to them, but they are their own specific snap-on combs. They don't work with, they're not universal. So the best clipper, you guys know that I love my Wall KM10. I'll grab it for you. I got one in the box. So this one is my favorite, and this is not just for professional use. I mean, this is a good clipper. This is the Wall KM10. They make a KM5 that's good as well, but the key is the detachable blade right here. You guys like my ring? It's a puppy dog's foot. Isn't that cute? So it's a detachable blade, meaning it has a release, and you can put any other blade size on there. So the Wall KM10 is my favorite. Andis makes some really good brushless motor, cordless clip, or not cordless, detachable blade clippers as well. But you gotta make sure it is a clipper that has a interchangeable blades. They call them detachable blade clipper. And it should always say on the box, But sometimes on Amazon, stuff is not worded properly on their stores, I've noticed. How's another way to tell if you got a detachable blade? I want you guys to make sure that you know what you're getting when you purchase them. 2-speed clipper, competition series blades. It also shows you here that it shows you the different blades, so you know that you can switch them out. If if it's showing you pictures, each blade is individually inspected. I'm just trying to see where it says that it's detachable. Anyway, I could sit here all night. That's probably right in front of my face. But you want to make sure that it's not, that your clipper doesn't have a lever, because those are adjustable. You don't want an adjustable clipper. You want a detachable blade clipper. And if it has anything like a 5-in-1 blade or 4-in-1 blade, then it's not a detachable clipper. So those are some good things that might help you. Jamie says, what did I miss so far, Amy? Some good stuff. Jamie, you have to go back and watch. We're talking about, we did a little bit of demos. I showed you I was working with a paralyzed Cavajon as well. So I definitely want you to go back and watch, Jamie, because you're going to find it to be very beneficial. Okay, so let's see. I see Jamie says, what conditioner that's cheaper than the SunGuard? The SunGuard is a little pricey, I agree. I'll tell you right now, Tropiclean has some wonderful, affordable conditioners and shampoos. So surf the Tropiclean website or Tropiclean on Amazon. They got great products, and they're very natural ingredients. It's just very effective, very gentle, smell amazing, and a lot more affordable than the SunGuard. So I do understand that SunGuard's a little pricey, but don't ever forget, guys, all of your products are dilutable. So make sure you're reading the labels to find out how you're supposed to dilute them so that you get the most effective bath for your dog, because it's meant to be diluted in order to work properly. So always check to see that if it says 10-to-1 or 16-to-1, that means 16 parts water, 1 part shampoo or conditioner, whichever. So make sure you're diluting, guys. It's very important. Margaret says, hi, Amy. I wanted to know if you use conditioner on every dog. I was told by a fellow groomer that he doesn't use it because you can get a good cut. Is that true? Okay. Some people don't like to condition, say, poodles and Bijans, like your scissory coats, the coats you want to be nice and crispy. But I'm grooming pets, so I don't often hand scissor a dog. If I did, that's not a pet trim. It costs a lot more money. People come to me for pet trims. So they want affordable, safe, quality groom. That's what they want. So I do condition the dogs because I know it's good for their skin. It does sometimes add a little bit of time to the drying process, but not always. It depends on the coat type. I like, the sound is off? What? I tend to like to condition all the pets that I groom so that it also helps them to smell better longer, because it just kind of neutralizes odors on the dogs as well. But definitely want to condition. Definitely want to condition every pet. If you're showing your dogs no, absolutely not, then you need to get really picky with the products that you're using, because you want to definitely showcase the best coat on, say, a Schnauzer or whatever breed it is you're showing. You want that coat to look exactly like it's supposed to and feel exactly like it's supposed to. So that means you may not be using conditioner. But we're talking pet trims. On pets, yes. Condition them. Absolutely condition them. It's wonderful for them. It also helps you de-shedding and everything else. And it keeps the shedding down longer. Here, I see. Okay, I got that one. Andrea has a question, I see. Got to put a line in front of him, guys, so I can see it. Hi, all. I have a Cavadoodle, and the bottom of his ears keep matting, even though I comb and condition him. Is clipping short the only option? No, I do have a really good video on my channel. It shows you how to demat your dog's ears, and it is a Cavalier Spaniel, so it's a very thick ear. I think it's called demat your dog's ears. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, just go looking for it on my channel. And I use only a brush and a comb to demat that dog's ears. So yes, it can be done, but you have to be using the proper brushing techniques and a good brush, a pretty effective brush. I use the Activet Matte Zapper in that video, I believe, but you wouldn't have to, as long as you got a decent slicker brush. The slicker brush is what you want to pull dead hair out. That's what you really want to know. Jamie says, it did amazing for Abby. I was amazed. Okay, that was for the conditioner. All right, good. I'm so happy to hear that. All right, I see all our friends are here. Guys, look at you. Just loving you. Thank you for showing up. And we're all answering some great questions. I see somewhere Carrie says, what shampoo conditioners do you like best for de-shedding? Is it the Andis? Andis doesn't make shampoo and conditioners that I'm aware of, but the shampoo and conditioners that I like best for de-shedding, one great combination is made by Coat Handler, and it's called Undercoat Control. And that is the shampoo and the conditioner. There's two products, both say Undercoat Control. Those are very nice for de-shedding. But really, guys, it's not the products that de-shed your dogs. It's your tools and your techniques. And that is something that I really try to drive home on this channel all the time. It's really not the products, guys. They can be helpful. Some smell better than others. Some clean better than others. But it is really your techniques and your tools. And you can use almost any shampoo or pet-safe shampoo or conditioner of your choice. It's what you're doing. That's what really de-sheds. Oh, Davis, Carrie. Yeah, no problem. Davis is not my favorite. There's some of their stuff is, like, I love the degreaser. None of their other shampoos or conditioners I would ever say are on my top 5 list. Maybe top 10, not top 5. Davis tends to be affordable. I like that. But especially for shampoo, I prefer the Tropiclean lines, the Nature Specialty lines, over the Davis shampoo lines. Best Shot is wonderful, shampoos and conditioners. So, Davis isn't my favorite. Andrew's Pet Grooming says, hi, Amy, have you tried the Banish Detangling Spray or Conditioner? I got it a few weeks ago and I love it. Well, I do want to try it because you know how I feel about the Quicker Slicker, and I'm seeing a lot of reviews on the Banish and people that really like it, and I'd like to show you guys how it stands up to the Quicker Slicker, because for me, it's Quicker Slicker, it's the Crown Royal number 3, I think, detangling spray, and the Banish are all supposed to be the favorites right now. The Stuff is another one that is really favored by a lot of professionals. So I'm going to try it, but I haven't yet, Andrew, and I'm very curious you said you got it and you really love it. I would really like you to send me an email if you could and tell me what you find made that product stand out to you. If you could, Andrew, at some point, because I want your opinion too, so that it kind of feeds my brain. But I'm definitely going to need to pick it up. Thank you for saying it, because I need to be pushed sometimes. Okay. Oh, please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. This lady's amazing. Oh, thank you so much. What a sweetheart, TWD fan. I love you. You guys are the best. Hi, Amy. I love your grooming table chats. Me too, Kim. Me too. And Stephen's here. Hi, buddy, from the UK. Look at all of you guys. Barbara, Grooming Girl, Bruno, Terry. Oh, my God. Gwen. Green Owl, look at you. You guys are awesome. There's 59 of us in here. Great to see you. Terry has a question. She said, if the product does not list the dilution ratios, would you assume that it to be a 10-to-1? That's a great question. If it doesn't list it, Terry, I'll kind of play around with it myself. I would probably treat it like a 10-to-1 because that's not a highly concentrated. So if I did a 10-to-1 ratio and I was like, wow, I'm pushing a lot of lather out of this, I could probably try maybe a 16-to-1 next time and find that right balance, because I don't want you guys to be wasting money by not diluting your products. But aside from that, if you don't dilute your shampoo, you got to realize they were designed to have water added back in to make the product as effective as it's supposed to be. So that's one thing I always want to make sure you guys remember. You can hear me saying in your ear that products are meant to be diluted because they need the water put back in order for them to work properly. So here's another question from Noor from Egypt. I think that's wonderful. Another question, there are some DIY natural detanglers. What do you think about those? DIY natural detanglers, I've never tried any. I really haven't put a lot of research into it. I would be willing to try some things, obviously depending on what the ingredients were. So I can't say I have an opinion on that, Noor, but I would be open-minded to it, that's for sure. And just being really conscientious of what the ingredients are. So that's a good question, because nowadays there's DIY almost anything. You know what I mean? So some of it's useful, some of it isn't. We kind of got to sift through it and decide what works and what doesn't. Jill says, are Panagenic products good quality or just expensive? I've never used them, Jill, so I can't really say. And I don't want to give an opinion if I don't have a clear opinion because I didn't use it. So I can't say, honey. I'd have to try it sometime. Maybe they should send me some stuff and then I can demo it. Karen says, when clipping my Bichon, some areas are uneven, shorter, like the chest or the neck, the skin wrinkles. Your tips help, please. Okay, so you got to stretch the skin out, guys. You see me whenever I'm clipping dogs, I'm always using my other hand to just hold the skin taut so that when I'm bringing my clipper down, it's riding and pushing the skin in front of the clipper blade. If the skin is really wrinkled up, the clipper is going to do this, and you're going to get jagged, uneven areas. So you just want to, you know, pull the dog's skin taut with the other hand and then clip. Then you'll get a nice, even clip. So I have a lot of videos showing full grooms. Anytime you see a full groom video on my channel, that should be showing you that technique. I'm sure it's in that video at some place, because if I'm clipping a dog, I'm definitely using that technique where I'm, you know, holding the skin taut. You know, like let's say Cocker Spaniels. Boy, they're really loose-skinned dogs. So you really have to utilize that technique to get a nice smooth clip on a Cocker Spaniel. So that's a good question. Barbara says, Amy, I wanted to tell you that I tried the loofah. We call it a poofy. That's fine. To wash my Yorkie, and it was such an improvement. That is wonderful. And I'm hoping all of you guys have a loofah for your dog now, because that's the best way to bathe your dog. He seemed to like it too, and he hates baths. Only took half as much shampoo. See, that is a really great thing about using the loofahs. It pushes your shampoo to the extreme lathers, and it really helps clean your dog better while it's massaging the skin and exfoliating. It's a win-win for a $1 product. Guys, everybody should have a loofah for their dog when you bathe them. You should bathe them with a loofah. I have videos on my channel showing you how to do it. So don't miss out on that. Definitely thank you, Barbara, for saying that you tried it and you like it, because it only helps other people to know. Impossible Pup is here. Hello, David. How are you? Is the best product good old elbow grease? Yeah, often when you're talking about brushing and scrubbing your dogs, yeah, it's elbow grease is the best product. The shampoos and conditioners are just nice. They aid in the grooming process. But really, guys, it's your technique that you're using and your tools. If you're not doing it right, the shampoo can't produce wonderful results if you're not properly washing your dog. So it is about your techniques and elbow grease, hard work. That's what makes your grooms beautiful. It's not so much, products are great, but some, you know, they're not miracles. Sometimes they seem to work better on your dog than another product, or they did something wonderful that another product couldn't do. But it really is in your techniques. That's what makes your grooming the best. Andrew's Pet Grooming says, do you have any recommendation for combs? I use the Andis comb, but I get fatigue in my hand and it can become painful quickly. Do you think that it could be how I hold the comb or the size of the comb? Well, I think you must be, well, I usually just use a comb for scissoring. Like if I'm de-shedding, sometimes I use a comb too. I'm wondering if you're using your comb more than you should be using it. Like, should you, is your hand tired because maybe you should be going for the brush a bit more and putting the comb down and just checking your work with your comb? I'm not sure, Andrew, but there are a lot of different styles of combs. Let me see here. I mean, there's even combs with handles. Where is, I have one over there. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. There's all kinds of combs out there. Let me grab a few while I'm here. All right. So you can get combs with handles. Maybe that would help you. And there's a lot of different ones. You know, check on Cherry Brook's website. Andrew, you're in the UK, I think, so I'm not sure if everything's available to you that is here. Like if I say certain websites, maybe you can't buy from them. I don't know, but you can get combs like this. I don't prefer to use this because I just feel limited with how much comb I'm using. I don't know. This is a rotating teeth comb. This is great for detangling. These teeth spin. So when you're detangling, they're spinning through the coat too. It really helps to remove dead coat and to remove mats. These detangling teeth combs. I love them. This is my favorite poodle comb. This is the All Systems. Can you see that? Oh, where does it say? It's on there somewhere. All Systems. This is a poodle comb. See how far apart the teeth are? It's meant for a poodle coat or a like coat to a poodle. And I use this a lot on my thick, heavy doodles as well, and Gus, and standard poodles. You would use it on a Portuguese water dog. This is a great comb. So this you can also get from Cherry Brook. I think maybe it might be the comb that you're using, Andrew. Maybe it's just causing you to work harder. So maybe trying a different comb would be helpful to you. I recently got the Aussie dog combs, some of the Aussie dog combs at the last Groom Expo that I was at, and I really like those too. They do have a website, Aussie Dog. Check them out too. I think, I mean, obviously you can see, we as groomers, we have lots of combs, and I really don't use half of them. You know why I have them? Because I get them and I'm like, I don't like it, and it goes on my shelf. Or, you know, I just don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way I'm handling it. You know, I just feel like it's just not comfortable to me. So, unfortunately, Andrew, we have to buy a lot of stuff till we find what we like. And what I say I like may not be what you like. There's also combs with wooden handles that are very comfortable. There's really expensive combs and there's affordable combs. So, the best thing to do is to go to groom shows and pick them up and hold them in your hands and see how they feel to you. And that's a good idea there. Norse says, rosemary rinse, aloe vera gel, glycerin, and coconut oil. That's one of them for detangling. That's interesting, and that probably would work, but I would feel like, okay, if it's got coconut oil in it and the aloe vera gel, I feel like it's going to leave buildup. And you know what happens when you leave buildup in a coat? It collects more things in the coat, and the coat gets dirty quicker. That's why I like the Quicker Slicker, because it actually repels dirt from the coat during your routine brush outs in between bathing. I would be really leery to put coconut oil in my dog's coat as a brush out product because I feel like it would attract things to stick in the coat that would cause more problem. Nora also says, actually, I'm more than glad that I found you. I asked for help from a groomer here in Egypt. She wanted $90,000 for a whole course. Oh my, that's different. Your money's different than ours. So you're a lifesaver. I'm so glad to help, Nora, and I'm so glad that you found me. And I may not have all the answers, but if I can just help you through a couple things, then that makes me feel like this is worth my time. Okay, I want to help you guys. And Jill says, I tried the Kenchi Slicker Brush for my Husky Poodle mix, Sophie. I love it. Thank you for recommending it. That, Jill, would be a great brush for a Husky Poodle mix. Absolutely. Cowboy Magic is great on doodles. I've never tried it, Margaret, but I've heard it's good. I would like to try it too. So, do I have any more questions here, guys? Hello, Doodle. It looks like my Doodle just came to town. Come here. Did you come down here? Nobody can see you, though. Gussie came down. Our dogs are doing really well, guys. Karen says, Kenchi scissors are the best, 7-inch. Cuts like butter. It's fun, and my dog likes the attention. Oh, I love the thinning scissor work on dog. Oh, I love it. Tiffany says, could you recommend a great curved scissor for a Pomeranian coat? Something affordable, too, would be nice. Kenchi has a nice line of they're kind of for beginners. They have a line called Love, and you might like that. You might like they have it probably 7, 8, and 9-inch curved. They're affordable, but yet they're still made of good metals. They're still a good shear. They're going to hold an edge for you. They're not a cheap shear, but they're like 99 or less. So it's more affordable, and it's good. It'll produce quality results. So I would say that, who asked me that question? Was that Karen? Oh, Tiffany. Okay, that's what I would say, Tiffany. And Norris says, well, if I had those 90,000, I'd buy a car. Yeah, no kidding, right? Shoot. Aw. Well, listen, guys, I hope that we have really made a little difference here in talking about working with our handicapped pets, and I hope I've given you some good ideas of ways you can help harness them safely at home and keep them safe. And don't forget, if you're a professional, you really need to get that owner involved in the groom and become a team for the handicapped dog and get it done, okay? I am going to see you guys next Monday. I'm hoping to release another video this week. Guys, Wednesday, you are all going to get access to that Westy video on my channel, so keep an eye out for it. Hopefully Friday or Saturday, I'll be launching another video. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. I just got to sit down and do it, like for hours and hours. But it's fun. I love it. I love creating these videos for you, and I hope they're helpful. So I will see you guys next Monday. I love you. I am so happy that you come here to spend your Mondays with me at 5:30. And I want you to have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine if it's out for you guys. It's good for you. I will see you next Monday. Here's a subscriber showdown for you.